Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Praveen and you are watching Techie Praveen. And in today's video, we're going to talk about what is query parameters, path parameters, and request parameters, and what are the major differences between them. So let's get started. So this is a very important video, guys, because this is a frequently asked question in many API automation interviews. People are very frequently asked what is the difference between query parameters and path parameters and request parameter. So let's get started. So first is what is query parameters? So if you're talking about a definition, so query parameters are used to send optional data to the server that typically modifies the responses. They are appended to the URL after the symbol question mark and can be used to filter, sort, or paginate the result. So basically, if you are looking for a particular URL and if you see something written after question mark, then it will be considered as query parameters. So basically used to filter out data and passing some query to sort out the data, giving the page numbers, filters, or specific IDs like that. For example, if you're looking out the example, http example.com resource and after and there's a question mark and after that there will be two query is passing. One is key value one and second key two equals to value. So basically, we are passing two type of data here, key one and key two, and having value one and value. So basically, we are going to pass two different values here, and we're just trying to filter out data on the basis of these two values. And if you're talking about the usage, usually for the things like filtering, sorting, or controlling the number of records returned. So basically, we're going to use query parameters to do filtering, sorting, or controlling the number of records. Let's talk about what is path parameters. So path parameters definition is path parameters are the part of the URL path and are used to point to a specific resource. They typically represent a unique identifier, example, user ID, product ID, etc. They are embedded directly on in the URL path. For example, is a http example.com resource and there is some IDs. Usage used for identify specific resource or a subset of resource. Path parameters are typically required for accessing a specific resource. So if you're looking at the what is path parameter, so if something is written after the your domain name and which is basically used for getting the particular record of that, then we know this as a path parameter. So difference between path parameters and query parameter is basically whatever is written after question mark is referred as the query parameters and whatever is written before that is known as a path parameter. So differences is that basically there's a small difference you can say that it will both the things are used for as a kind of a filtering out of data. But in path parameters, you can directly passing to the particular resource and query parameters, you actually using some data to filter out to provide some extra sorting or filtering on the basis of certain informations. And now one more important thing is what is request parameters, which is often known as request param in Spring. What is Spring? So basically is a Java framework. So definition is in the context of server-side programming, example Spring framework, request parameters refers to parameters passes along with an HTTP request, either as a query parameter or form parameters. So a request parameter is something related to the query parameters or form parameters, whatever the information, whatever the parameter we are actually passing via HTTP request is known as a request parameter. So query parameter is also a request parameter. So we can pass the parameter, whatever parameter we are going to pass with the HTTP request is known as a request parameters. And request parameter is further divided into either query parameters or form parameters. They can be extracted from the request in the server-side controller to retrieve information about the request. In Spring, MVC means Spring Framework. Request parameter is an annotation used to stack query parameters or form parameters from the request URL or body. So basically, it's using in the if your API is using if your API is created on the basis of Spring Framework, then basically request parameter is annotation is used to get the parameters from the request URL or body. Now, Let's talk about the what is the differences between, or if you want to create some table, or if you want to give the information exactly what is differences in between these three things are. So position in the URL. So first filter is what is the position of position of query parameters, path parameters, and request parameter in a particular URL. So whatever after question mark, whatever is present in the comes in the query string, query parameters. Emit in the URL path example user ID. So if there is a uh, something information, some filter, some ID is involved there after your domain name, then it could consider as a path parameter. Request parameter could be either query parameter or form parameter. So request parameter is so query parameter is also included in request parameter. So request parameters will be of two different types. One is query parameters, another one is form parameters. If you're talking about the usage, so query parameter is used for filtering, sorting, or modifying the response, and path parameter is to identify a proper resource or subset of a resource. Request parameters usage is extracting values from the request or query form. Required optional, not part of the URL part. So query parameter is not a part of a URL part, is always be treated as an optional thing because you're actually providing or passing some data to filter out the complete information. A path parameter required to identify a specific resource, so it will be used for to identify or required for a specific resource. A request parameter depends on the context, query, or form. Format after question mark. Format is slash resource ID and could be query or form value. Example is this rest assured could if talking about rest assured example, so we can treat dot query parameters and then we can pass the value in the form of a key value pair dot parameters dot path param and query param. So query request parameters will be passed like a query parameters or form parameters. So we'll be going to see this in the practical. So request parameter will be passes like same as a query parameters, or if the value is passing in the form of query parameter. And if you're talking about the form parameters, then we're going to see is this we're going to use dot form parameters. Okay. So let me open my IDE and give you the practical implementation of these two. So okay. So let me create my Java class path and query parameters, and let me copy the my basic code. Okay, so I'm going to hit one URL. So let me open request.in. Okay, this website we are going to use this. So if you look into this get or get, this one get will take query parameters after question mark. We are passing one query that is page two, and then we have a single second get, it will passing as a path parameter. So this is an example of a path parameter. So if you closely look into this is user2 is a path parameter, and if you click on this first one, then it will having a query parameter as a page 2. So we're going to hit first query parameters and then we're going to hit as a path parameter. Okay, so request specification. So this is my data. So if you look into this, the output will be page two. Okay, let me show you like this in here. First one, page two, per page six, total 12, and this one. So this will be the output if I hit like this. So currently I'm not passing any parameter here, and if I directly hitting in the page URL, then what is happening in here is okay. So if you look into this, this is page one, page six, this value. And here, if you look into this, this is page 2. So basically, if we are passing the query parameters in the base URI, then it will not accept in the query parameters. So you need to pass this separately. So for passing this, we just need to, this is a get request. So just uh, pass it like a query parameters. Let me again show you query parameter. Okay. And inside a query parameter, we have to pass the value page and then 2. That's it, and put get here. and remove this one. Okay, now if I hit this, I will get the query parameters and will get the response page 2. Now it will take in the page 2. Okay, and this my response is same. Cool. So if you want to pass parameters, you have to pass it separately. Okay. Now, if I'm talking about how to pass path parameters, so I need to hit the this URL, this one. So I'm copying. So I'm commenting out my first 3 lines. Okay. Sorry, and I'm pasting again, and then I need to change the only the URL part. This one. Okay. Now I have to. Sorry. Now I have to change the path. Now I have to pass now I have to pass this value as a path parameter. Okay. So now I have to remove this. Okay. And now there is a path parameters. See, path parameter, and we have a form parameter as well. Form parameters. Okay. Now we are actually using query parameters here, so we need to pass like this. And if you want to path parameters, then you need to use this. And if you want to pass as a form parameter, you can use this. Okay, so this is the only option you need to change. And then we and currently I need to pass path params. Okay, so path params we need to use user ID. I'm passing this like this, user ID 2, and now I have to pass this value like this. Perfect. And let me hit and check whether it's working fine or not. Okay, so I'm getting the data here. Cool. So if you want, you can directly pass this value here, the complete URL with the user ID, with the path parameters, or you can use this one. However, this if you're passing query parameters in the base URI, it will not going to work. But if you pass in the path parameter, it will going to work. There will be no issues. But in the future videos, uh, we're going to see when we are going to create a proper framework, we're going to treat everything separately. So this is a very important video that how to pass query parameters, how to pass parameters, and how to pass form parameters. So this is the way you can actually pass your query parameters, your path parameters, and your form parameters. For form parameters, you can exactly click here and form and pass this value as a form parameters. Nothing else. Everything is same. Okay. Why it is showing response? Because this is common. This is duplicate. That's why it was showing error. So you can use this as a path parameters. This is a query parameter. This is query parameter, this is for path parameters, and this is for form parameters. So I hope you like the video and you like my teaching style. If you like the video and you are able to understand the concept, please do subscribe to my channel and share it with your friends. And if you are facing any issue or you're not able to understand any concept or you're getting confused somewhere, do let me know in the comment section. I will definitely try to create a separate video for you and try to solve your problem. Thank you. Thanks a lot.